I think like naturally after people learn how you became a barber in your store, I think the next question that people usually ask is like,
did you ever fuck up a haircut or it didn't go as planned?
And I have fucked up some people's hair before, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was like 6 months in, I got my first straight razor and did a dry shave on my homie.
You didn't use shaving cream, cut me up hella bad, and then use water as aftershave.
I did use water as aftershave though, because I thought that would like help cool it down, but kind of stung. Sorry, Antonio. But my favorite probably has to be with like me and my cousin. I don't think I ever told him this one either. So I cut my cousin up for like the first time. It was like my third cut I ever did. First time using a clipper over comb technique. Anybody that's not like a barber doesn't know what clipper over comb is. It's a little hard technique at first because you think something's gonna be pushing back resistance wise, but you have to be doing the pushing back while also pushing in. It's confusing, but so I'm hyped, right? I'm getting through the cut. Yo, third cut, no fuck ups. I'm in this thing, and then I take a chunk out of his hair, and it was up high, so there's no fixing it. I can't like blend it out. I'm halfway through the cut. I just fucked up a haircut for the first time. I'm like, wow, am I supposed to like tell him, or is he supposed to find out for himself? I didn't even know how that worked. So I get done with the haircut, hand him the mirror. He goes and checks in a different mirror so he can see the back, and he's like, damn, bro, am I going bald back there? Is that like a bald spot? I'm like, damn, bro, I think you are going bald. Like, are you stressing? He's like, yeah, bro, I've been stressing at work. I'm like, you know what? Stop stressing. And I always tell barbers, like, you're gonna fuck up at some point. Like, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of how you react to it and how quickly you can learn from those mistakes that you made. Looking back on it, now I know how to use a clip over comb and how not to make your client look bald. I mean, it grew back, so obviously it wasn't going bald. What is good, y'all? It's your boy Deluxe, and I got my boy Junior back on here again. You might remember him from before. I think I probably had him on my first, or not my first, but maybe my second or third tutorial I ever did on YouTube. So today I'm just gonna do a nice little beard sculpt and lineup on him. As you can see, his shit is going wild. His beard likes to curl up when it gets a little bit longer. Like many beards on a lot of guys, once it gets to a certain length, it starts to curl up. So first thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and comb it out with a wooden comb. I prefer to use a wooden comb rather than just a regular comb to comb it out because it doesn't create a whole lot of static, and when you get static, the hair tends to stick together, kind of poke out in a different way. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start on that taper. Now, because it's a beard taper, I'm gonna try to keep it as high as possible, taking that bald level no lower than that mid part of the ear. After I get it blended out, I'm gonna start with the lineup behind the jawline. Now, because his beard is still pretty lengthy, I do like to comb out a lot, get any hairs that I like to hide up inside the beard to kind of show, so I can cut those out, so when he does go home and wash out his beard and takes a shower, he's not surprised the line isn't there anymore. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start under the neck. I always like to start from the middle and work my way to the side, and always complementing the jawline as well. So make sure when you do a beard lineup, don't just kind of throw a line in there and kind of just think, all right, like that's cool. Like, always take in consideration how that line is going to complement your client's facial structure, as well as making sure that line is sharp. Or I've seen barbers before do beard lineups underneath the beard, and they just don't really give a shit. Maybe it's uneven, and sometimes it's not even like all the way straight. Like us guys that got beards, we can kind of see that. You know, we can see what happens to the beard, and when we go home and check it out, we're like, damn, bro, like, you know, you didn't really give a shit about my beard. So always make sure you pay attention to the details. Of course, while I was talking, I went ahead and hit that mustache, kept it as natural as possible, and then we're gonna go ahead and start on the beard line. Now with my boy Junior, he does like his beard pushed down just a tad. He has like one of the most fuller beards that I do cut. He doesn't like having it as full as possible. He does just like it pushed down just a tiny bit. Personally, I also like my beard pushed down a little bit as well. As a hairy ass dude, I understand the struggle. It doesn't fit your jaw structure as well. Sometimes all you need is just that slight push down so that line kind of matches up almost with the corner of the mouth. And then go ahead afterwards, whip out the straight razor blade, Now, one thing I do want to kind of harp on right now is the arch right around that area where the sideburn is at and kind of connecting with the rest of the beard. That I think is one of the most underrated keys of a sharp beard lineup. You know, you could have the arch on the cheekbone nice and curved, but if you don't kind of push in that line around the sideburn just a tad, I'm not supporting you guys pushing back hairline or even sideburn lines that much, but I always found out that it was key to kind of curve that line in just a little bit, just to kind of exaggerate that curve and make it kind of almost flow in a little bit more effortlessly. I always find when you know, that's like a deal breaker for a lot of clients, and especially when you're doing beards, that's a deal breaker just because of how it actually turns out. Some clients, they have those wide ass sideburns and it just doesn't make the beard look good. So maybe next time try it out. You don't want to push it, like I said, don't want to push it in too much, just at that very middle part. That's the farthest you want to be able to push it back in, but just so you can complement the nice little C cup around the arch of the sideburn as well as the arch that you just did on his cheek. Then go ahead, same steps on the other side. Like I did before, I'm gonna go ahead and take a 3 guard and go with the grain to take down the beard. Now, I'm not putting the guard all the way straight touching onto his cheek. I'm kind of just feeding any of the hair through and kind of just knocking out those curls. Like I said before, a lot of guys that have bigger beards, sometimes their beards, when it gets to a certain length, it likes to curl up. Now my client here, Junior, he still wants to have a nice full big beard, but he just doesn't want to have that curl in it. So I take it down a little bit shorter than where it starts to curl up, just to give him a little bit of time, so when it does grow back, he's not having the beard curl up within a week and he's like, yo, what the hell, like, bruh, come on now. So I just do that to make sure it still keeps its fullness and its darkness as possible. There I go back again. Remember, always pulling the skin the opposite direction. When you do go around that sideburn area, it is easy to nick your client. I've done it before, so make sure you pay attention to the blade angle. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and move on applying the black mask. I didn't get too much footage of this. It's kind of boring. Like, all you gotta do is squeeze the bottle, rub it in. This is the Elegance black mask. I kind of like this one in terms of how it pulls off and how much effective it is when you pull it off. But applying it is a little bit of pain in the ass, just because it does get a little thin, and it doesn't go on as evenly, so it is a little bit harder. And then when you go ahead and pull it off, make sure you're pulling it up, as you can kind of see me taking that Instagram video as well right there. You're just gonna make sure you pull it up, take it slowly, because if you just rip it off your client's face, it doesn't feel good. Trust me, I've done it to myself before. You want to take it slowly, especially around the eye areas, and always make sure the black mask is fully dried before you pull it off, because you will be left with excess that's hard to get off, like you can kind of see right there. Afterwards, just go ahead and applying another hot towel to his face. This is just like a little service that I do with my black mask facials, and that is a Oster hand massager. I get a lot of people asking what that is. It's just for relaxing purposes. Trust me, if you do it on yourself, it's one of the most relaxing feelings ever. Clients love it. You can probably go ahead and find that on Amazon. Just look up Oster hand massager. I think they go for about 70 bucks. And then afterwards, I'm gonna go ahead and just re-hit his beard. After, like, when I put the hot towel on, it kind of relaxes all the hair on his beard. So I recomb everything out and make sure I go over it one more time, just to make sure all those stray hairs are laying down close to his face. When you're working with beards, you always want to take detail into consideration. It is a lot of loose hair that you're really having to sculpt into one area that doesn't want to be tame. So just always be combing the hair out, always be taking off any strays. I like to go out, as you'll see me later on, I like to go out with shears to finish it off, as well as going over with the clippers, even trimmers. You know, if I'm lining it up and I see something out of place, I always just knock that off right then and there. Clients with beards always appreciate the attention to detail, because a lot of barbers, they just kind of fly through it. I think it's just a lineup and just a slight taper. Like this is really like almost another haircut almost to the with how much detail I like to put in it, at least, because a guy with a beard, I understand what guys with beards want, because that is actually what I want. You know, I want a nice sharp clean beard that's gonna last me a little while, and all the hair is taken down so when I go home and shower it's not poking out or any uneven spots. Of course, I applied little hair fibers right there just to make that thing pop as well. And go over it with your straight razor afterwards to make sure that line is super crisp. Like I said, there you go again with the shears that you can see that right there. Just any straight hair, just taking it off nice and easily. Sometimes when you're using clippers, the hair can get pushed around instead of cut. So I just have a little bit more precision, especially around harder to reach areas or even harder to see areas. You know, sometimes the clippers is hard to see in certain areas. And that's the end of the tutorial right there. Nice beard sculpt. All the length is taken down nice and evenly, combed out multiple times to make sure all the hair is as even as possible. You know, tapers fresh. Look at them. I didn't get the tapers on this. I thought it was pretty simple, easy steps of tapers. And as you can see, there's a slight pushing of that arch around the sideburns, and that's really key to kind of make sure everything kind of just flows in with the whole taper. So hope you guys appreciated this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next Sunday for your weekly Deluxe Sunday tutorials. Alright, y'all.